Hello ladies, it is Tiffany of Clarity, Confidence, Courage, Women's Empowerment, and I want to do this video to talk about 5 ways to break dysfunctional childhood cycles. Now, before we jump into this, I want to go ahead and give a trigger warning because some of the things I'm going to talk about is serious. And for those of you who have gone through a lot of trauma when you were younger, this may be a bit much to handle. So if that is you and you know you can get triggered, then definitely click off this video because I definitely don't want to cause any more harm than what you have already experienced. Now, for those of you who are staying with me, definitely make sure that you like, share, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe. What I'm going to talk about today is something that I encounter so many times with my one-on-one coaching clients where they want to move forward, they want to get things done, they want to hit their goals, but we have to take it a step back a little bit because there's some things that they haven't dealt with from their past. And those are the things that has been holding them back and keeping them stuck from moving forward. So if this is something for you, then stay tuned because we're about to get into it. Now, ladies, the reason again that I bring this up is because I have so many coaching clients who I'm trying to help them move forward, but it's very difficult because they'll have that one little anchor that's keeping them stuck in the past. And ladies, I get it. And for those of you who are gentlemen, I get it too, because I know a lot of men watch my channel as well. Trust me, I have been there. There are things in my childhood that when I look back in my adulthood, I realized like I'm repeating this pattern for a reason. It's not just happenstance. It's because this is something I experienced when I was younger, and I'm continuing to unconsciously and subconsciously keep the pattern going. Now, the first thing, ladies and gentlemen, for those of the men who are watching, the first thing you want to do is make sure that you recognize that you had a dysfunctional childhood. Now, when I say recognize that you had a dysfunctional childhood, I'm not talking about when your parents disciplined you and sent you to your room because you didn't wash the dishes. That's not the type of dysfunction I'm talking about. That's discipline, all right? What I'm talking about is trauma. I'm talking about mental, physical, emotional abuse. I'm talking about those times where you were neglected. You had a parent in the household who was not treating you like a child. They were treating you like an adult. They were expecting you to take care of your siblings, to raise them, to cook for them while they went out and did whatever. Now, I know some of you are like, Tiffany, that's just how it was. I came from, a poor family. My mother did the best that she could. She was a single parent. She was working 2 and 3 jobs to help us. I get that. I get that. But the fact of the matter is, it was dysfunctional. You did not have a childhood. You had to grow up quicker than you should have. It doesn't make your mother a bad person. It doesn't make your family member or whoever raised you a bad person. It just means that you had some stuff that you had to go through in order to make it, to survive your childhood. And that is dysfunctionalism. That is not how normal children who are healthy and who are growing at an appropriate age psychologically and physically should be treated. And then there are some of you who, again, might say, well, Tiffany, I wasn't sexually abused. I wasn't physically abused. My parents did physically discipline me, but that was discipline. However, you were constantly told that you weren't good enough. You're fat. You're ugly. You're too dark skinned. You're too light skinned. You're too this. You're too that. Why don't you speak up enough? Why do you speak up so much? You were constantly being psychologically abused. Yes, that is trauma. Call a thing a thing. I know you love your family and I know you feel like they did the best that they could. And maybe they did. I get it. They did do the best they could given what they knew. But you were going through a traumatic situation and it is causing you now to have dysfunctionalism in your adulthood because you never dealt with the dysfunctionalism in your childhood because in your mind, you didn't see it. It is subconscious, but it's still there. Trust me, ladies, I get it. I've been there. Some of the biggest bullies, unfortunately, are not the people out here in the world. They are the ones that are inside of our families. Sometimes the enemy actually lives within the household with you. The first thing you have to do in order to break the cycle of dysfunctionalism is recognize that you grew up in a dysfunctional household and there was some trauma that you haven't let go of. Now, the second thing you have to do, you have to be willing to forgive and heal. Now, when I say forgiveness, I'm not saying that you should, continue to hang out with the person who abused you, or you should be friends with that predator in your family who hurt you. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that in order for you to move forward, you have to forgive that pain. You have to forgive your past. You have to forgive yourself, and you have to be willing to heal. And this is something that I think for a lot of women, they need help with. You need to seek therapy. Ladies, I've gone to so many therapists over my lifetime. Let me tell you this, because I knew that I couldn't move forward if I didn't deal with some of that stuff that happened in my past in order for me to live my greatest life. So yes, you may need a therapist, you may need a counselor, you may need a psychiatrist or a psychologist. The bottom line is reach out to a professional. That is what they're there for. That's what they were put on this earth to do. That is what their gifts are, is to listen, is to help you get through it, is to give you step-by-step exercises to help you heal. That is what they're here for. Do it. Take the time to help yourself by forgiving and healing and moving on. Ladies, the third thing that you have to do after you've realized, like, yes, I went through some trauma, I went through some psychological or physical and emotional abuse, and you've taken the steps to forgive and heal, the third thing you have to do, you have to get clear on what functional feels like. You know, yes, you have been in a situation where you're so accustomed to dysfunctionality, you know what that feels like. So what's the opposite of that? What does it feel like to not be in a relationship where a person that you're with is calling you curse words and calling you out your name and being extremely disrespectful? What's the opposite of that? Oh, it's someone that respects me. Oh, it's someone that allows me to express myself. Or it's someone that doesn't put me down. They actually encourage me. Oh, it's someone that actually says that I inspire them. Oh, that's what functional feels like. Ladies, you have to start putting yourself in situations where you can be around people that are functional adults. They help you understand what functional feels like. And I'm not just talking about romantic relationships, friendships, coworkers, jobs. I mean, there's so many areas of our lives where we have just let people run rampant and really hurt us because we have not created boundaries. So as you're healing, as you are forgiving, start putting yourself in a situation where you get very clear. And sometimes I tell women, don't be afraid to write it down so that you understand what it feels like, what the words are that you can identify that makes you realize what is dysfunctional versus what is functional. So feeling words like respect, dignified, integrity, joy, peace, peace of mind, contentment. Those are functional words. Those are words that are feeling words. When you feel those things, you feel good. And ladies, that's a big reason why when I coach women one-on-one, so much of what we talk about is intuition. Are you using your feelings wisely? Are you using discernment when you are dealing with the outside world? Because when you can get very clear on how you want to feel, then you know what it means to not feel that way and what it means to not allow others to make you feel that way. So again, get very, very crystal clear on what functional feels like. The fourth thing that you need to do is clean up your life. Once you go through all these steps, the last thing you want to do is keep people in your life that keep putting you down. Remember, the reason that you're friends with some of the people you're friends with is because they helped your subconscious mind perpetuate your childhood. They are helping you recreate that dysfunctionality, and you don't even know it because you are not aware that you were in a cycle. You don't understand why you keep attracting the same guy who is a jerk. He's just in a different body, right? That same personality trait. He puts you down. He talks about you. And I know for some of the gentlemen who are watching, yes, this can happen to men as well, but you can't understand why you end up in the same situations. Every job is bad. Every friend, uses you, or every guy that you date is a jerk, or whoever it is. It's like you can't get it right. Well, guess what? You may be stuck in a pattern. And the reason you're stuck in that pattern is that childhood dysfunctionalism. It just keeps replaying over and over and over again. So once you get very clear that you are in that situation, it's time to clean up your life. I know some of you are like, Tiffany, I've had this friend for X amount of years. She's been there with me through thick and thin, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I hear you. But here's the thing. Can she go with you through the good times? Can that friend or that relationship get with you through your best self, when you are living your highest and best self, when you are confident, when you are secure, when you feel good about yourself? Can that person stay around? Or are they going to get jealous? Are they going to get insecure? Are they going to tell you, you're not all that? Are they going to put you down? So here's the question. Do you want to continue being around people that put you down and minimalize you and make you want to shrink? Or are you ready to step it up? And if you're ready, it might be time to have some distance between those people. It might be time to find a job you actually enjoy, where your boss isn't psychologically abusive like your mother was. It might be time to get a mentor or a coach, someone who is outside of your life who can have an objective viewpoint and say, hey, have you thought about this? Hey, let's do this. Hey, it might be time for you to move to a different neighborhood. Hey, it might be time for you to look and see if that relationship is what's best for you. Are you ready for that? It's time to clean up your life. And for some of you, that might be literal cleaning. Clean up your house, clean up your car, clean up your body, clean up your health. When you feel healthier, you can do more. You attract better people. You attract better situations because you actually feel better. So when I say clean up your life, I'm talking about in all aspects, in all areas. Clean up your money, clean up your finances, clean up your life. Start doing the things that a functional person does and not the dysfunctional person that you used to be. And the fifth and final thing is get crystal clear on what you want your adult life to look like now. Now that you are functional, now that you are healthy, now that you've healed, now that you've gotten therapy or counseling, now that you've forgiven, now that you're feeling good, you've cleaned up your life, what do you want your adult life to look like now? Because here's the thing, you can recreate yourself as many times as you need to. You can reinvent yourself as many times as you need to. You can be and do and have whatever it is you desire, but you have to make the decision on what that looks like. What does that feel like? Write it out, get it very tangible. Do you want to live in the same state? Do you want to live in the same house? Do you want a new relationship? Who is the new you? Do you want to continue to work for someone else or do you want to start your own business? What does your life as the new you look like? Be willing to claim that new identity, be willing to get crystal clear on that new identity and start taking action steps towards being that person. So again, these are the 5 ways in which you can break your childhood dysfunction. Now, of course, there are so many other things that I would love to include in this video, but it would be super long. So if you're in a space where you're like, Tiffany, I want to talk about this a little bit more because I am going through some things. I got some challenges. I'm trying to get better. I've talked to, a counselor, but I need to do more. I want to move forward. Then definitely click the link below. Get on my calendar for a free coaching strategy session. We'll talk about where you are. We'll talk about the challenges. We'll talk about where you want to be, and we'll see if working together might be the best next option. So to all of you who are watching, thank you so much for your time. And as always, make sure you share this video so other women who are in similar circumstances can level up and start creating lives that they love. Definitely like and subscribe. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.